Welcome back, everybody. Yes, I think we are racking up 3 different locations for the TV show tonight. First at the White House at EEOB with the FBI director, the last segment back at our regular studio, and now magically I'm here at the White House. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, and I am excited to bring in our guest tonight. He serves as AMAC Action's Senior Vice President, Andy Mangione. Andy, thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure, Amanda.
Andy, I want to talk to you about election integrity in this Myers report. Election integrity is obviously something that was at the forefront of a lot of Americans' minds leading into the November election. And I think that a lot of folks thought that since President Trump won and he won the popular vote, that things were all good, everything's copacetic and hunky-dory. But tell us about this Myers report that ranked the world's democracies when it comes to elections.
Well, the Myers Report, Amanda, is an ongoing discussion group. It's a think tank. It was founded in 1985. It's a forum comprised of thought leaders from many different professions and diverse political affiliations. And in August, they released a study that evaluated 17 areas of voting system risk and concluded that the United States has the worst voting system of the democracies studied. The U.S. actually scored lower than nations such as Mexico, Kenya, Italy, and Rwanda. The report cited widespread vulnerabilities related to mail-in voting, ballot harvesting, and electronic voting machines without auditable paper trails. Among the report's most alarming conclusions, Amanda, is that 94% of countries studied do not allow unrestricted mail-in voting compared to the United States, where it is now common practice in many states. The study also highlights that 55% of U.S. states allow ballot harvesting, a practice banned in every other country studied. Additionally, 92% of other democracies in the study required a photo ID for voting, while 29% of states in the U.S. do not require any ID to vote. But Amanda, it's not all bad news. The study cited the top performing U.S. states included Mississippi, Arkansas, and Kentucky, all of which earned scores above 75 out of 100. And we believe that this study validates the ongoing efforts by AMAC Action to continue our fight for election integrity by supporting measures like voter ID and U.S. citizen-only voting, and working to get rid of ranked choice voting, ballot trafficking, same-day voter registration, and other bad processes that threaten the security of our elections.
Yeah, and that is really good news. And I think that a lot of people hear about these vulnerabilities, and the first thing they would think is, okay, well, let's just fix them. But we all know that there are a lot of Democrats, primarily in this country, who are pushing back against practically every election integrity measure that Republicans try to pass. When you look at these other democracies across the world who ranked poorly like we do, did they have the same issue that they were facing with regards to actually fixing it?
Well, they don't have a Democrat Party in those, but there was pushback. There was
Right.
pushback on specific election integrity measures that mirrored what we have here. So in a way, they are facing the same types of uphill battles that we are with regard to simple election integrity measures like voter ID, for example.
Yeah. And I suppose what I'm asking is, I think the perception, the conventional perception here is that the reason that folks are pushing back against election integrity measures is because they want there to be vulnerability so that they can manipulate the system. Is that what you observe in other countries as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. If you cast doubt into the system, it can be manipulated, and it's the same thing elsewhere in the world.
Yeah, incredible. So, all right, you've got the Republican Party who seems to, by and large, want to fix it. You've got a lot of different pieces of legislation up on Capitol Hill. Are there any specific pieces of legislation that you think are the quick fix? I mean, I know there's not a quick fix, but something that could really put the nail in the coffin of integrity issues?
Well, I'll tell you, Amanda, this fight for election integrity is being fought on 2 levels, in the states and in the federal government. The federal government can't control federal elections. Every other election takes place and is managed by the states. So, and all states are different with regard to how their legislatures run. But let's take a look at the federal issue, for example. The SAVE Act, the Safeguarding American Voter Eligibility Act, was reintroduced to this Congress. What this would require is proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. That sounds familiar. We sound like a broken record here, but it's an important piece of legislation. Between last Congress and this Congress, AMAC members have sent over 30,000 messages to the representatives in Washington, D.C. to get the SAVE Act passed. We did it last Congress and this Congress. Now it heads to the Senate in this Congress, and you can bet we'll be keeping an eye on it to shepherd it through the Senate when they take it up, when the government reopens, et cetera, et cetera.
Absolutely. So, Andy, we're talking a lot about the infrastructure that can be created to fortify elections, but there's another aspect of this that can also fortify it, and it's not with machines, it's not with paper, it's not with legislation, it's with human eyeballs. I know that AMAC is doing a really great job of focusing on poll watchers and having folks there present on the ground to at least, there's an optics to having people there watching what you are doing that can possibly deter any type of shenanigans. But tell us about AMAC's effort to get this done.
Well, our members are very, very engaged on this level. We've got a gubernatorial election forthcoming in Virginia. It's pretty high profile. I'm sure you're familiar with it. And there's a critical need for people to work the polls in Virginia. Let's go back to 2021, Amanda, when hundreds of AMAC members served the Commonwealth by working the election that resulted in Glenn Youngkin being elected governor. There were many, many conservative eyes on the process, and we were told that because of that scrutiny, the voting experience was relatively smooth. We recently launched a recruiting drive to ask AMAC members to answer the call again and serve as poll workers and officers of election in Virginia. The race there is garnering much attention, and Virginia needs to ensure that the process is uncorrupted. And you mentioned how our members have answered the call before. Our members come in and they work the polls. Over 2,500 of them work the polls in the 2024 elections. And we're counting on this same engagement again in Virginia for this year. It's not hard asking AMAC members to do this. They have responded in great numbers. They make us look good, but all the credit goes to them. These are long days. I've worked elections myself, so have my colleagues at AMAC Action, 13, 14-hour days. It's well worth the effort, and it's well worth the scrutiny to ensure that our elections are secure.
Yeah, and Andy, I can attest to that because every time I have done an AMAC event with John, it is packed to the gills, and people who are patriots and they are ready to get involved and to take action to fix the problems in our country. Before I let you go, you mentioned some of the states that rank high for election integrity. What were some of the worst ones?
Well, no surprise here. New York, California, Vermont, no big surprises. You could guess that, but you'd be right.
No. Absolutely. No surprise at all. Andy Mangione, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
My pleasure, Amanda. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. If you want to get in on the AMAC membership, John always talks about it. He loves his relationship with AMAC. You want to go to that website there on the screen. We're going to take a very quick commercial break, and I think that John has made it back to our regular studio, so we're going to try to meet on the other side.
Hey folks, as an investigative journalist, I've spent my career digging into the facts, cutting through noise, asking hard questions, and getting to the truth. And when it comes to who I recommend to my audience, I hold everyone to the same standard. That's why I want to tell you I've done the homework, and AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the real deal. AMAC is a conservative alternative to AARP. They're focused on faith, family, and freedom, and they offer real benefits to their members, myself included, including discounts on travel insurance, in prescriptions, so much more, exclusive resources, and their excellent AMAC magazine. And right now, when you sign up for a 5-year membership, you'll save up to 33%. That's just over $1 a month, a smart investment to stay informed, get real value, and support a cause that matters. Visit amac.us/justnews today. I've done the vetting. Now you can take the next step.